revolutionary
Yeah.
in this film. Is there something about these kind of characters that appeals to you when you get asked?
Well, yeah, I think those characters are just the best because they're strong and courageous and heroic. So, yeah, every time I'm receiving a script who talk about revolution or just the fact someone fights for ideas and freedom, and it's just the best part to play because you feel inspired, and I love when a character leaves something inside me after a movie, and that those characters just like stayed in yourself in a way, even if it's just a little bit. You just not move on like this after a movie like that.
Because their fire stays inside
Yeah.
you, something like that?
Yeah, and I think you need to understand them. So you make research, and then you just like want to understand how they feeling, and yeah, it's just like I'm so, yeah, after an experience like that, I feel kind of proud, like in a weird way, but just I feel like I didn't lost my time.
Do you feel that they were more exciting times in a way? I think this is in the 50s, isn't it? This Portuguese rebellion.
Yeah, it's a complicated question because this is the subject of the movie, and one of the last dialogues, it's Jeremy who said, "My life is nothing. Like nothing happened in my life compared to those amazing, crazy life." And the woman in front of him saying like, "Yeah, but they broke. They just like they lost everything." So it's the debate between like the difference between a boring life, for example, our generation where nothing really happened, we don't really go on the street, we don't really fight for rights or freedom, but then do we prefer to be like playing with death every day and acting like, for fighting for freedom and ideas, they were killed and tortured, and so I don't know if it's always complicated to say that was more exciting to live in that period, because that was a really terrible period too. So I think we want that. I think it's a fantasy to fight for something. And I think that's why there is so many American movies with guns and hero, like, I want to save the world. But the real hero in life were people who just fight for ideas and against politics.
And this movie is full of ideas,
Yeah.
isn't it? It has a lot of philosophy about
Yeah.
life. Again, was that what appealed to you as well?
Yeah, and it's Billy August. So he, like, my agent called me saying like, Billy August wants to talk to you, and I was like, really? Why? And she was like, my agent said like, well, you're an actress, he's a director. And I was like, oh yeah, you think for a movie? And she was, yeah, okay. So he called me and he said, yeah, I just wrote that script, can you read it? Yeah, it's from doing a resistant girl, she's amazing, she's torn between a big love and resistance, and you'll be a great Stefania. And I was like, okay, yes. And I said yes before I read the script. And I read the script and I said thanks.
And was that because maybe he'd seen you in Inglourious Basterds
Yeah.
and thought, no, continue that?
Yeah, and I did kind of a lot of characters like this. I made a movie called The Roundup. I was a nurse, and she was a real character, and she tried to save the children from the camp during the Second World War in France. And yeah, and I feel like my ego is really like big, because when someone asks me to play a character like this, I feel like, wow, I inspired director to play that sort of character. I never received any princess characters. I never received any just simple girl who's just like trying to do something. It's always like, you need to kill Hitler, you need to just save people. So I'm like, okay, okay guys, sometimes I need to rest, but yeah, I feel happy and honored.
is cool. But
Yeah.
as a writer and director as well, is there any